Is this the on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I very welcome my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching, and a very, very, very warm welcome to Tuesday's edition of the dceu Daily. And if you're feeling charitable, please smash that subscribe button and that like button. And please do, if you like, follow me on Twitter at MoviesTVMad. And it really is a mad timeline for you people if you're following it. Lots of laughing emojis to everything, lots of mocking. Look, you have to be there. So please, please check it out. So, Warner Brothers are changing all these DCEU release dates, and everyone's acting like it's really controversial and really exciting, where in fact it's just a bunch of dates changing, right? It's like me asking you out on a date. I mean, I like women. I date women, right? So if you're a woman, right, I ask you out on a date, right? And so we're going to go through this romantic meal. All of a sudden, there's a global pandemic, right? And I say to you, well, sweetheart, I'm really sorry, but I can't make it then. We're going to have to cancel it till 6 months. There's no controversy because we can't go out, right? So it's the same thing as this. So everyone's getting really excited. And I do want to talk about The Flash, and I do want to talk about the negativity towards The Flash. People still making jokes that, they're going to be 80 before it happens. And this movie is the only movie that's been moved forward and not back. But I do have my relied Screen Rant article, and it really goes through these release dates in narrative form, and it really does work well. So we're going to do that. I also saw on my Twitter that John Aaron Garza posted this kind of interview with Zack Snyder where he talks about wanting to direct a Logan movie, a Wolverine movie. He was offered X-Men 3 as well, but the dates weren't good. So I'm going to read that interview out that I screenshot. Sorry, John, had to be done. And we'll have a few other discussions, but first let's discuss this. Yes, this is, I mean, we wasn't expecting all this to happen yesterday, but pretty interesting stuff. As I say, especially with the Flash release date being pushed forward and not back. As I say, people being very unkind about that film within the fandom, and I'm going to sit you back down and sit you down. So, DCEU's new movie slate and release date delays explained. The upcoming DCU slate has been radically changed as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Coronavirus has brought the world to a standstill, and studios are scrambling to adjust their plans across the globe. Cinemas are closed as part of lockdown measures. Production is halted for the safety of cast and crew. It's impossible to overstate the scale of the disruption. A disruption I've already predicted will halt in May. I expect Hollywood to go back to work in May. That's exclusive. I can tell you that right now. I can also tell you that already in America, they're planning to reopen movie theaters by the end of April. It does sound insane. I hope everyone's going to be safe, but yes, that's what they're planning. They're losing too much money. It's as simple as that. And yes, they do value money over your lives. Always remember that. Warner Brothers is one of the last major studios to reschedule. They've waited for many of their biggest rivals to shuffle their own slate first, which is very intelligent, thus allowing them to assess the state of the competition. This allows them to carefully position the movies so they can perform as well as possible in the post-coronavirus world, especially without requiring further delays down the line. Meanwhile, there's a striking contrast between Warner's approach with the DCEU and the one taken by Disney with the MCU. Disney has pushed back the entire MCU as a whole, whereas Warner Brothers has chosen to shuffle things up in a far more inconsistent manner. Actually, that's balls. There's nothing inconsistent with what they've done, but as usual, they have to create a drama out of nothing. Both studios are technically building shared cinematic universe, but Warner Bros. Has taken a much looser approach after Justice League. As a result, has a greater degree of flexibility. So Wonder Woman 2 hasn't been moved again yet. It's already been moved once, so that date remains. But here's the details. Wonder Woman 1984 has retained its previous release date of August 14th this year, although it's impossible to predict the course of the pandemic. Studios generally seem to be hoping the worst will be over by the summer, and theatres will be returning to a semblance of normality. If that's the case, Wonder Woman 84 will be one of the first potential blockbusters of the summer, which is brilliant. especially given Marvel moved Black Widow all the way back to November. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you can't blame them for doing that, but I don't know. I think that movie's going to look. For me, it's not a November movie. I wouldn't pay to see that movie. But for the MCU fans, they don't care. They'll go and watch anything. They'll watch they'll watch Tony Stark taking a dump if it's got the MCU logo on it, won't they? So very exciting for them. This is something of a gamble because there's no way of knowing whether normal viewing habits will have resumed by August. It's not a gamble because they can just move it again. Again, they're making a drama out of a crisis. Even if the lockdowns have lifted across the world and no new lockdowns have been imposed, audiences may still be reluctant to pack out a cinema as a result, and it's entirely possible a change in viewing habits could damage Wonder Woman 1984's performance. Now, can I be actually clear here? Because this goes beyond the DCEU. After the pandemic and the lockdown's over, this could change forever. Cinemas could die. People may refuse to sit so close to other people. On-demand viewing may be the future. People don't want to hear that. But the pandemic could have killed cinema forever. So it's not just about DC and Warner Brothers like these buttholes are trying to say. It goes deeper than that. At the same time, though, it's not hard to see why Warner Brothers want to keep this film locked here for now. It's really funny, isn't it? How they sit on the fence. So they say something, then they cover themselves with something else, so they can't lose. They've already spent a lot of money on marketing, and they vacated the August slot, and cinemas did reopen August slot, and the cinemas did reopen in a big way. A rival could steal it. Still, it wouldn't be surprising if this was far from the last word on Wonder Woman 1984. Returning actress Connie Nielsen recently expressed concern the film could be delayed. It's really funny, right? They've asked an actress about something. She's not God, is she? She's not Superman. She's just someone acting. She doesn't know when this is going to happen. Of course she's concerned. Everyone's concerned. Oh, I'm really worried that we might be delayed again. We're all worried that Wonder Woman may be delayed again till December, November, or on demand. We know that, but we're in a groundbreaking, unparalleled, unprecedented situation. It's all unpredictable. Making a drama out of everything is just pathetic, boring, and clickbait. Disruption from coronavirus isn't limited to 2020 simply because it has shut down production on many other films. In the case of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, though, production had finished and it had been passed to editors when the shutdown began. Post-production is actually running on schedules, with Gunn editing the movie from home. He has indicated there's been some disruption to marketing, though. It's reasonable to assume the Suicide Squad have had a significant presence. The Suicide Squad would have had a significant presence at San Diego Comic-Con 2020, which has been cancelled. Still, for now, the impact isn't enough to cause any delays. So that film hasn't been delayed, it's as is. The Batman is delayed by 4 months. Unfortunately, Matt Reeves' The Batman, which was only 25% through production when Warner Brothers shut down principal photography in mid-March, isn't in the same boat as The Suicide Squad. There was hope delayed projects could resume shooting mid-May, but that feels extremely unlikely. No, that actually isn't unlikely. Hollywood is going back to work in May, and it will be mid-May, I promise you that. So where are we? As a result, Warner Brothers has decided to push the Batman back 4 months to a slot previously occupied by an untold Elvis Presley biopic starring Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks? Oh, he's playing Tom Parker. Yeah, that's the film, so unrelated to the DCEU, but that is Baz Luhrmann's kind of Elvis biopic, and I'm really looking forward to it. I love Elvis. My dad loves Elvis, and I'm going to take him, right? So looking forward to that. That's been delayed, but it is going to happen. To a slot previously occupied by untitled Elvis Presley biopic starring Tom Hanks. This may be particularly smart scheduling given reports that the Batman is inspired by a comic book story called The Long Halloween. An October release suits the model well. Meanwhile, note there's a sizable gap between the Batman and any other superhero competition, with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness not due out until the following month. Actually, that's the one MCU film I'm actually looking forward to. And I love Benny Cumberbatch, such a nice man as well. The Batman delayed till October of next year. Again, I know it's a 4-month delay, all still next year. We're still getting 3 DCEU movies next year, so still very exciting. Black Adam is still coming out December 2021, so nothing happens there. It's not changed. Production of Black Adam has been pushed back due to coronavirus, with star Dwayne Johnson expecting cameras to start rolling in August or September. That is a project I hold dear to my heart, he observed, and so I can't wait to get started. Warner Brothers clearly hope the disruption can be contained because they haven't adjusted Black Adam's release date at all. DC Super Pets I do not care about. But this is the one I really want to talk about. The Flash has moved up 1 month to June 22. In a surprising decision, Warner Brothers has moved the Flash movie forward by 1 month, assigning it a new release date of June 3rd, 2022. Pre-production will be continuing from home, and it seems Warner Brothers believe the project can move forward at a commendable speed once social distancing measures have lifted. Again, this is a well thought through change. The Flash's previous release date was far too close to Captain Marvel 2. Now it's well placed to flourish between 2 MCU movies. I think I'm really excited that they pushed it forward, but I'm going to make a point here. Again, the negativity towards this film for no reason. Fans in comments of this news talking about Ezra Miller should be sacked. For what? Performing an April Fool's gag, you freaking idiots. Oh, I'm going to be 80. I'm going to be 80 years old before the Flash movie's released. Hey, we've had 6, 7 seasons of the Flash TV show and we still haven't had the movie. You're boring. You're so boring. Loads of movies are delayed and have different directors and things change. Shut up. You're so boring. And you're talking about this while this film has been pushed forward. The film's been pushed forward. What are you talking about? What are you being negative about? Be positive. This film, the story comes from the star, yes, Ezra Miller, so there's no way they're getting rid of him. They want to push forward with this now, not create more delays. And as I've told you before, Ezra Miller is going nowhere, and basically Amber isn't going anywhere either. Is it Amber who plays Mira? Whatever, right? She ain't going anywhere either, right? So you're dreaming, you're fantasizing. These date changes are not dramatic. They're not controversial. It's what they have to do. And I will talk about what I think about all of this after I finish reading this article, but I'm not down about this. I think Warner Brothers have done really well. Shazam 2 is now due in November 2022. David F. Sandberg's Shazam 2 has been pushed back to November 2022, and that's great news for the sequel. Its previous April slot would probably have seen it overshadowed by Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 and Black Panther 2. Most conveniently, Shazam 2 will even come out a full month after Marvel's Mystery October 2022 movie, which means there hopefully won't be too much of a competition there, because a Warner Brothers DCU movie can't handle competition, can it? We're so bad that we need to be somewhere where no one else is. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Aquaman 2 hasn't moved from December 2022. Finally, there's no change to Aquaman 2, which is still scheduled for December 2022. Warner Bros. Will consider that date as set in stone, as anything can be right now. The December slot is a prized one, with the first Aquaman grossing over $1 billion over Christmas 2018, and they will be hoping for a similar high tide. Yeah, there's nothing going to stop that. So basically, I thought that Screen Rant sent that out in layman's terms, and very well done as well. Some of the articles kind of over-egg the pudding. There's even some think pieces like people like Scott Mendelson, but there's no think pieces here. There's no rocket science here. We have a global pandemic. Dates have to be changed, and I have to be very, very gratifying towards Warner Brothers, because what they've done here, as it says in the article, they've waited until the other tricksters have changed things, and then they change things, and they've come up with logical dates. The delays are not that bad. I know 4 months, the difference of 4 months for the Batman, but at the end of the day, we're still getting it next year. We're still getting 3 DCEU movies next year. It's very, very, very exciting. I'm very happy. The Flash being moved forward, very exciting. No, I'll repeat. The Flash isn't afraid of Captain Marvel, and that's what you're saying. And it's a ridiculous thing to say. The Flash is... Look, let's just look at the slate for for the DCEU compared to the MCU. The MCU have got literally nothing that the DCEU should fear, even if they did clash. We've got the Batman, we've got the Flash, we've got Shazam 2, we've got Black Adam, which will be featuring the JSA, the Justice Society of America, Aquaman 2. Our slate is better than theirs. The MCU slate is so uninspiring. It seems like the whole franchise has been dead since they did Endgame because it told their story. They've got rid of a couple of their actors, or those actors have left, and that was the interest and passion of the franchise. And I even see it within the MCU fans that are a bit nervous about what's to come, so that will be interesting. But in terms of blockbuster appeal, our films are massive, and there's nothing to fear here. The delays are not negative. We would rather see these films sooner rather than later, of course. But this is not negative. So I'm really happy, excited that the Flash movie has been brought forward, and nothing to see here, no controversy, move on, and please stop it. I'm sure other people are planning negative videos and saying, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Awesome dates, really excited. Bring this slate on. So, yeah, here's the interview I promised you with Zack Snyder. Now, listen, I don't know how old this interview is, but this is what's said. So, here's the interviewer. So, the past few comic book adaptations, which is the one you really dug? Zack Snyder, I guess Batman Begins. Oh, Zack, me and you are kindred spirits because Batman Begins is better than The Dark Knight, and we all know it. I guess Batman Begins is one of my favourites of recent time. You know, and none of them really has there been an R-rated graphic novel like comic book. You see, he's obsessed with the R-rated graphic novels. So, the interviewer, V for Vendetta, I guess? Zack Snyder, V, I guess, is the only one, but I don't know if it counts, 100%. It's not superheroes. It would be cool, an R-rated superhero movie. That's just cool. I don't care what it is. Wolverine would be cool if it was R-rated. Zack was looking at the future, so this is quite an old interview. Interviewer, if Fox allows it, Zack Snyder, there is no way, no fucking way that movie is going to be rated R. I read the script, it's cool, but there is no way they asked me about it. But I just said, I don't know. That would be a thing that if I didn't have Watchmen, I would be interested in Wolverine. That's interesting. Right, interviewer. Lauren Shuler Donnell. Hang on, it's not the interviewer. Anyway, it's someone else. I'm just going to read it out. Lauren Shuler Donnell, we talked to her, and she said they were looking for a lot of different people to direct. And Hugh Jackman said they were looking at some great people to direct this thing. Was it recent talk, then wanting you to do it? Zack Snyder, it was right before I went to go to do 300. I had a brief dance with X-Men 3. Really? No one heard that, did they? No, that was kept on the... where am I? I'm losing it. No, that was kept on the down low. I had dinner with Donna and Hugh. They were psyched about it, and they thought it was a really great meeting. And I had a meeting at Fox where I said it was funny because I didn't know the plot at all. And I said, it's an awesome thing about X-Men is that they're the only superheroes who don't want to be superheroes. That's cool. And I said like that. And they said, oh my God, you know our movie you know what our movie is about. That they had this antidote and said, oh, that's cool. You know, that's neat. But I just said, look, the deal is I'm doing this thing called 300 and I really don't want to do anything else. And they said, really? It's X-Men. It's awesome. And I said, it's awesome, but 300 is kick-ass and I can't even describe to you how hardcore it is. Right, so that's Zack Snyder. That's typical Zack, right? They're trying to sell him doing X-Men 3 and he's saying, yeah, but I'm doing 300 and 300's brilliant because Zack's obsessed with the 300 graphic novel anyway, as we all know, as he is with Watchmen. So he got his dream gigs. Then he got Superman, which he's obsessed with. Then he got Batman, which he was obsessed with. So although Zack was treated really, really badly, he did get his dream projects to do. Let's be honest, right? listen, right, say if I directed, say it was my dream, which it isn't, but say if it was my dream to direct Watchmen and 300, then my genuine dream, which it is to direct my own Superman movie. Got a bunch of ideas, right? And then you say to me, well, then you can do a Batman versus Superman movie. Basically, after I complete the Ultimate Edition of BVS, I'd be saying, do you know what? Get the wooden box, kill me off. I don't need to accomplish anything in my life. Zack Snyder doesn't need to accomplish anything in his life. I want to see the Snyder Cut, but you know what? What he's done in his catalogue so far, no matter what the haters say, are fantastic achievements that most filmmakers will never ever do. And that's the end of it for me. But a great interview, really funny. And I didn't know that they wanted him to do X-Men 3, and I didn't know that he was interested in doing Logan as well. Logan directed by Zack Snyder. Now that is controversy. I don't know how old this article on Wonder Woman 84 is, but I'm going to read it because I think it's very prevalent, and someone was retweeting it, and I think this is about Wonder Woman 84 and Wonder Woman being a kind of an international hero in this film rather than just an American one. And I've always said this about Superman. I hate it when people call him the all-American hero. For me, he's a universal hero. In the comics, he's gone to outer space. He's saved different civilizations. He's a global hero on the planet Earth. He's not American. He's not America's hero. He's not the all-American Boy Scout. He's the universal Boy Scout. And I see Wonder Woman in the same way. And there's a lot of nationalists in America that don't agree. But basically, you're wrong. So Wonder Woman 84, Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot want to make the sequel like James Bond and Indiana Jones. As I say, I don't know how old this article is. We may have read it out before, but we're going to do this again. It sounds like Wonder Woman 84 will borrow elements from a number of franchises as director Patty Jenkins and star Gal Gadot aim to make Diana Prince a worldwide hero rather than just an American one. Something I've just told you I agree with. Some new Wonder Woman 84 details have found their way online, and these will definitely give fans something to talk about. Film industry analyst Luis Fernando, this guy's come out of nowhere. He does say a lot of crap, I must admit. I used to prefer him than I do now. When he kind of broke the news about the Flash being pushed forward, he literally said the Flash is running away from Captain Marvel. No, Luis, you're wrong, mate. Anyway, so Luis Fernando has revealed that director Patty Jenkins and star Gal Gadot pushed to make the sequel's version of Diana Prince a worldwide heroine and used a number of big franchises as inspiration. Among them were Indiana Jones and James Bond, hence why the Wonder Woman follow-up utilises a number of international locations. Actually, when I've heard Patty talk about Wonder Woman, and mainly when she's spoken about, not Wonder Woman, but Indiana Jones, she said this film wasn't supposed to be a direct continuation of the first Wonder Woman. It's a chapter somewhere, but it's not necessarily the second chapter, and that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to make this self-contained movie. So she has mentioned these films before, but not in the context that Luis Fernando seems to be going with. But anyway, who knows? Anyway, it's noted that Wonder Woman 84's Themyscira scenes were filmed on the Canary Islands, correct? There are certainly a lot of hints that the DC Comics adaptation is inspired by the famous franchises mentioned above, especially as Maxwell Lord has all the makings of a Bond baddie. Maxwell Lord is beyond the Bond baddie. Read a comic. What do you guys think about the latest Wonder Woman 1984 sound off below? Look, the whole reason I read that out to you, because it's not much of an article as you can tell, is the fact that they're talking about her being an international hero. I like that idea. I think it's a really good idea, which I've kind of gone into a little bit already. And I see that with Superman as well. You see, Batman's a domestic superhero. Green Arrow's a domestic superhero. No one can argue that he's not Gotham's hero, but sometimes he ventures out. Green Arrow is Star City's hero. No one can argue that. Sometimes he'll venture out with the Justice League. But in terms of Wonder Woman and Superman, they are universal heroes. They can travel the cosmos and rescue civilizations we haven't even heard of. And that's what's so brilliant and representational about these characters. They don't just belong to America, even though they were invented in America. And I absolutely Loved it, and I think that's a brilliant idea and a brilliant thought from Patty Jenkins, absolutely. So today's main headlines have been that the DCEU have changed certain of their release dates. So here's confirmation of what they've been moved to. Wonder Woman 1984, August the 14th. The Suicide Squad, August the 6th. That sticks. So does Wonder Woman 84 for now. The Batman has been moved. There's a difference of 4 months. So the Batman is now going to be released on October the 1st, 2021. A great move, a great date, and great patience from Warner Brothers as well. Black Adam sticks with December the 22nd, 2021. The Flash movie is pushed forward to June 3rd, 2022. Really exciting. Nothing to be negative about. It's great. And we've waited long enough, so it's great that it's been pushed forward. Shazam 2 has been moved from April to November the 4th, 2022. That's a big delay, but again, we're getting it. So basically, we've got 3 movies in 2022. And Aquaman 2 sticks December the 16th, 2022. I want to know what you think about these changes, but my advice to you, don't feel down about it. Don't feel depressed about it. These movies are still coming in the years. They told us they were coming. Movie production will go back to normal from mid-May. I can guarantee you that. Hollywood is going to get back to normal. The press for the coronavirus in America is a lot worse than it actually is. People are going to start going back to work at the end of this month. We're going to get our movies back. Cinemas, movie theatres, as you call them in America, will go back to work. Now, whether you want to go in there right now, my advice to you is don't go back to cinemas. And I would say not until Wonder Woman 1984 is released in August. Give it time. The virus is still out there. Stay locked down. Just because a few things are opening, don't go back out there unless they're forcing you to. Then take the precautions you have to. That's my advice to you. Comment down below. Like, share and subscribe. Please keep safe. Please be sensible. And don't feed the trolls. I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.